This is a dark fountain. Hello, chat. Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are we all doing? Chicken Chuck. Chicken jockey. Mouse wheel. Hello. Hello, everybody. I still haven't seen the Minecraft movie, but I mean, I know there's the Old Man Yowie, so, you know. No, there's Old Man Yowie. I mean, I know it's like, it's only worth watching with like a group of people. I know that much as well. It's definitely not a movie you see on your own, or like in an empty movie theater. It's definitely one of those. Anyway, yeah, how's everybody doing this week? I've had a pretty alright week so far. I mean, I decided to fucking replay Kirby and the Forgotten Land over the weekend. And, you know, I 100%ed the game again because I'm a crazy person, so. Yeah, it'd be like that. That's not being crazy, that's just like in Kirby. True! Are you really a Kirby fan if you don't obsessively 100% every single playthrough of the game? Alright. Three save files. I remember that, yeah. Once again, I forgot to turn off audio application from when I was recording Jevil stuff. Cause you know, I'm still keeping to it. I've been getting those daily Jevils in, even if I almost missed yesterday's. Oops. Jevil won't live to see another day until the chapters come out, yeah. His days are numbered. Anyways. Time to be stuck in chapter 1 jail again. Mouse wheels this, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Mouse wheels this game chicken. Mouse wheel. Cause I mean, the game even does like the little fake out, like with the chicken jockey scene. You know, it's chicken jockey. Everyone does it. Wait, that's true. The Nether. Birdly jockey. It is very casual after seeing the stream. Yeah. I will say, like, one thing, like, you know, that helped me casually, like, you know, before I, like, sat down and grinded out double for, like, 5 hours until, I was, like, somewhat consistent at the fight, is to just know what the pirouette turn order is. Like, if you have that, then, like, you can, the fight becomes a lot easier, because you can just ignore the bad effects. Hi, Oakley. The Nether. Steve. Sorry, you know, I watched that fucking Gartic Phone Deltarune artist video that Shay was in, so, and, you know, there was the fucking Minecraft movie jokes all over that, so, you know. Back on my vocal stems. Steve. Water bucket. This is a crafting table. First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft. Now shout out to the description of Jack's ACSG and MG world record from the other day. Or it just says, first we snow, then we grave. Let's snow grave. It's like if Morbius actually made $1 more billion. Yeah. I haven't seen it either. But I've basically absorbed the plot of the movie just through, like, the memes. Chicken jockey. I mean, I feel like that's, like, the best way to interact with the movie, you know? Because, you know, we're basically past the point where you can see it with, like, a good theater of people who all get the joke. Because, you know, if you wanted that, you basically had to see it that first weekend. So we're basically past that point. So, you know, now the best way to interact with it is just the memes. First we chicken, then we jockey. Let's chicken jockey. Chicken jockey! The roaring. First we ultra, then we kill. Let's ultra kill. This is a marksman. Swords machine. Proves that Yaoi can bloom on the nether field. It... I can't believe that something like that's in the movie. First we Delta, then we Rune. Let's Delta Rune. Ah, man, it's been a week since the trailer. Yeah, we need June 5th right now. Yeah, the next 2 months are gonna be hell, yeah. Now that we actually have a date. Bang. Month of April feels like... I mean, we're waiting for 2 specific days, May 1st and June 5th. These almost tired. Yeah, I'm so glad I was in a call, so I got to actually like scream. It was the entire. Yeah, we just did not care. Oh yeah, HDQ games list. Around then, yeah, for gore. Chicken jockey. Technically 1 day after Delta releases. Then just don't volunteer. Then Deltarune. Deltarune is more important than everything. You really Delta. Yeah, no, that's base. Damn, no clip. Yeah, you're preparing for Deltarune a year in advance. True. Yeah, the long play. just play the whole journey. Whole night. Oh my god. I say that like, I mean, I'm also gonna like, if it releases at midnight, I'm gonna pull an all-nighter. Or at least however long it would take. June 4th, 5 p.m. Oh my god. Releases it. Well, I say, like, the thing is, because we have 3 release times. We literally have 3 different release times for this fucking game. And we don't know which one is, like, the most accurate. I mean, technically, like, the most accurate one, I guess, would be the Steam global release. Because, you know, that's, like, the one time we have, like, coded on the store itself, you know. So, like, that's, like, the time, that's, like, the most trustworthy. That's, like, 8 a.m., 10 a.m. For Eastern. What's that? Yeah. But that's when Steam says it's going to release. Now, it could change closer to launch. Both websites are just marked for midnight, the local time of, like, the language for the website. So, like, you know, it's EST for midnight EST on the English website, and then midnight JST for the Japanese website. Well, I mean, like, from how I understand it, from what we know, currently the only, like, confirmed release time we have is the Steam global release, which is releasing in all territories at that time. Which is what makes me cautious, which is what makes me, like, kind of, like, cautious about it. About, like, it releasing early in Japan. Like, you know, people are saying that, like, you know, they have to release it at midnight Japan because of the Switch, but, like, they don't have, like, it just says on launch day. Thank you for the good luck. And I know Toby wouldn't, like, fuck over his audience like that. And, you know, do something like that. Yeah, most of the time, games release, you know, midnight local time. It's like, those are usually, like, the bigger games, and, like, you know, games that have physical retail presence. You know? And I would say the countdown itself isn't really indicative of anything. Because, if I remember correctly, the countdown for Chapter 2 literally just, like, unveiled a link to the Steam page. And that's all it did. Like, on the website itself. But yeah, I kind of doubt that it would be released in Japan first, because I don't think Toby is like that. Some kind of dynamic. I don't know. Especially because, like, if it's like a the thing is, like, we know what time the PC version is dropping as of right now. Now, the thing is, we don't know if, like, it's gonna be the same for everything, or if that time's gonna be altered later down the line. But, like, Steam database does give us, like, a set time for the PC version, and that's, like, all reasons. It's, like, all regions. And I think, like, if that is the case, then I don't think Toby would, like, fuck over PC players in that way by having the console version release at midnight local time, but then you still have to wait, like, hours for the PC version. And like people are saying, well, what if Nintendo's like forcing him to do it? Where are you getting that information? Where are you getting that from? It's a digital game. It's not like it needs to have like store presence or anything. And the Direct did just, you know, say, oh, it's like available on launch day. It didn't say at launch. As I remember where it is. Yeah. The thing is, like, I just trust Toby to, like, not do, like, I don't even want to say it's preferential treatment, but just, like, to, like, release something early for one part of for, like, one group of people, you know? Especially because, like, he wanted this to be a simultaneous release for PC and console. Also, we don't even know if, like, the countdown gap on between the JP website and the American website was, like, something deliberate by Toby. That could have just been, like, whatever Fangamer employee who made the website just, like, coding it to be set to June 5th midnight of, like, you know, whatever region it was, you know? Like, they could have, they could, like, just, like, set it, like, like, when doing the Japanese website, like, oh, let's just set it midnight for Japan, because it's the Japanese website. Anyone contacted? If anyone has, they haven't gotten a response yet. Say that nobody came. Wait, say that again? Logging in. Of course, immediate great start. Why did I go for that? How to kill your Deltarune speedrun in 5 seconds. Are we just gonna have a repeat of the last stream where I spend 2 hours stuck in chapter 1 and then I just go and play another category? To be fair, that was a misplay. I, played that, really risky for no reason. Other than I felt like it. And so I was just punished. What do you mean? Because I casually consciously use tech? How do you think I feel when I casually play this game? Takes everything in my power to, not make a Thrash Machine with Flamehead. I have to stick with the duck for the casual playthrough because it's funny and comedy. I optimize my fucking equipment in a game where I'm playing 99% pacifist. Yeah, I will. I am not. Now I'm a bit iffy on doing 3 and 4 for just various reasons. I still want to record my reactions to it, but it's just the difference between if I will stream it or if I will local record it. And honestly, I think it's literally just going to be all vibes. This is going to be how I'm feeling when the game drops. And I guess also, when it drops as well. But I'm definitely gonna, at least, stream like a casual playthrough of 1 and 2 before the game. Before 3 and 4 release. Especially, like, as, like, just a nice point of comparison between, like, when I first streamed this game casually. To finish my playthrough. Marlon, at this point, I feel like you aren't going to finish that playthrough until the day before the game comes out. The game comes out the day before my birthday. Playing this game casually again on stream is gonna be an experience. Three girls over these were like present. My birthday's in January. Yeah. It's just a super late birthday present. Anyway, I can't wait to do what I did when I first played chapter 2 casually, where like, I played the chapter once and then, do it again for the boss fight, weird route. And then I just play the game from the beginning in one sitting. How considerate of Toby, Radiation Fox. Toby, don't call me Plug Radiation Fox. Bang. Chicken jockey. The Nether. Steve. Hi, Martlet. Hi, Joe. The Dark World. The Roaring. Steel. This is a crafting table. Chicken jockey. Yo, eating? Wait, eating? Wait, go Martlet, eat food? Proud of you? This is a shadow crystal. This is a soul. What would the fucking, what would, fucking, Flint and Steel be? What item would that be? Gotta use my knowledge of, the 82 items in this game. Ball of junk! Broken key. Mouse wheel. Mr. Clover, not U2I, real, not fake. Ooh! My life just flashed before my eyes. I am Chris. The Dark World. Wait, are there gay people in my chat? Always. Chat, type 1 if you are gay people. Damn, that's a lot of gay people. It's like, tracks queers like beast of flowers. Plus it. OMG Marley, you're back. I missed you. OMG. Chicken Jock. It's just a vocal stem. Enderpearl. This is a shadow crystal. Shout out to the fucking chicken jockey edit I saw the other day, where it was just Kirby getting lowered onto the wheelie helper. Wheelie rider. This is a copy ability. Brought an actual chicken to the theater for a chicken jockey bit. Oh my god. I mean, like cinema, but like, oh my god. This is a crystal shot. Jumped here by chicken jockey. Amazing. It's spreading. Who would win chicken jockey or base Mario? Base Sporticus. You know someone who can beat base Sporticus? No, you don't. Well, according to like the poll I ran on Twitter, Azrael with 50% trauma could beat base Sporticus. Although I'm sure it would be a close fight. Sporticus at 50% trauma. Oh, that was in Dungeon. The World That Never Was from Kingdom Hearts 2. Do 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 do. No, that's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Don't you mean Sonic Prime? Just made mac and cheese. Can nobody stop you? Oh, of course. Gotta make up a lot of TP now. Whatever, I have do it twice. I'm losing TP here. That was a funky-ass Jebel cycle. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Oh, I bonked. And I'm 3-turning. Whatever, I'm playing the game. No reason for me to compare to my worst, but... I think this is probably, like, the most time I could have lost on this split. Babe, wake up, new worst split. I'm just ass at the game. No, but we can bring it back, though. We can bring it back, though. Catch the sick 9-turn. I'm gonna miss all crit. I'm gonna miss all the crits on the first turn. It's gonna be funny, you know? Yay, 9-turn is dead. Now I don't have to worry about it. Kill it early. Streamer, don't you know that you can just do an extra Ralsei solo and just graze more? Streamer, did you know? Streamer. Chapter 1 skip would just be like that one guy who keeps saying, why can't we have a category where you can use Chapter 1 completion data and just run Chapter 2? Is there a reason we can't do that actually? Because you need to start from a fresh save. The rules specifically state you need to start from a fresh save file when you are running Chapter 2 on its own. It's basically, it just evens the playing field. You know, it doesn't require someone to, like, do a bunch of setup. It's also why we ban picking up Devil's Tail / Devil's Knife. Picking up Devil's Tail even be worth it? If you were running True Reset, yes. But we banned that anyway because it's something that relies on a different save file. I mean, and also, you know, that rule was put into place before bed skip was a thing as well. Because, like, for people who do not know, if you, like, start up a fresh... If you have, like, beaten Jevil at any point, and, you know, the completion data for that is still laying around for that file slot. I think it's that file slot. No, it does check all file slots. It just prioritizes the current file slot for some reason. But for those who do not know, if you have beaten Jevil at all on any of your files, you can interact. There's like a hole in Castletown somewhere. Like it's no, yeah, it's the hole on like the far left side. You know where the slide was. And you can interact with it, and it will give you whatever item is in that save slot. Yeah. Although you get the shadow crystal from Sham. Done for the weird. Well, the thing is, the game keeps track of your shadow crystals. The game keeps track of them, you know. It was even there's even like a little thing added in LTS on the chapter select screen. Like, it is a very deliberate choice. And I totally get it. I totally get it. Because, you know, these chapters are meant to be, like, jump in and play. So, you know, I think Toby wants it so that, like, you at least have, you know, the important secret boss items. So that you don't have to, like, constantly refight, you know, the hard fights. And, like, the game it checks it for any file, but it prioritizes, like, the slot your current file is in, and that is solely for the case of deciding if it should give you Devil's Knife or Devil's Tail. But yeah, that is, like, a very deliberate choice. And honestly, like, I kind of agree with it. Like, you know, just going off of, like, what Tobias said. Like, he does want these to just be jump in and play. He doesn't want there to be, like, a ton of baggage for if, like, you know, in cases like this where you don't have your save file, or, like, you lost it / are now playing on a different console from where you first played the game. Yeah, I respect it. Each chapter is meant to be very replayable, yeah. And you know, Toby did say, you know, obviously you aren't gonna have to beat the game multiple times to get the ending. But they are meant to be replayable. I mean, honestly, I think that's probably why and honestly, I think that that's probably also why there's, like, some different flavor text, depending on which file slot you are in. Now, I think, obviously, there is going to be, like, a reward for actually sticking through and playing with one save file the whole time. Because, you know, obviously, there's already punishments on missing out on things if you start just from Chapter 2, because, you know, you already miss out on Pink Ribbon. Not Pink Ribbon, Iron Shackle, I mean. I was thinking of something else. You miss out on Iron Shackle. And by extension, Spike Man, yeah. So I think, like, the item fusions are kind of meant to be, like, your reward for, like, playing on a single save file. Iron Shackle. No, Ralsei comes with White Ribbon. Ralsei's default armor is Amber Card White Ribbon. Iron Shackle. Iron Shackle is the only item you truly, like, the only, like, piece of important equipment that you truly miss out on. There's obviously other Chapter 1 equipment you miss out on, like, was it the Dice Brace? Whatever it is that you get in Forest, but that's not needed for any item fusions currently. Your name's in that way if you use... Yeah. That is leftover, like, code from Undertale. Like, it displaying that there. That is just leftover Undertale code. I mean, I don't think that the game's gonna be like, oh, play the, like, you have to skip around chapters or whatever, because, you know, Toby already deconfirmed that. I think it's gonna play in some minor aspect of the meta-narrative. Like, but it's gonna be, like, a minor aspect of it. Like, something more implicit than, like, an explicit, like, something explicitly stated. And, like, I'm fine with, like, there being some punishment for starting without a save file for a chapter. Oh, yeah, also, other things you miss out on. You miss out on... Yeah, you miss out on both Brave Axe and, Ragger, I'm pretty sure, if you start from Chapter 2. You don't miss out on Spooky Sword, though, because that's still in Sham's shop. Although, like, you know, missing out on those weapons doesn't mean nearly as much, because, you know, immediately outclassed by Auto Axe and Ragger, too. Basically Ragger with +2 magic. Does it? No, it doesn't increase your attack, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Fiber Scarf doesn't increase Ralsi's attack. Or, like, it's the same bonus that, like, Dainty Scarf and Red Scarf is. Am I going crazy? Because last time I looked at it, like, it didn't do anything when I equipped it to Ralsei, and, like, this was on a casual playthrough where I didn't have Ragger equipped. It only increased the magic. Yeah, massive attack. Puppet Scarf Ralsei is hilarious. I will say this. I will say this. I do think that, like, obviously there's probably, like, an intentional meta-narrative reason for being able to, like, swap around, go into chapters whenever you want, you know, all that wording. I don't think it's gonna be some, like, required element, though, for, like, understanding the narrative of the story. It's always easy. Hey, add on to something is not be required under. Yeah. It may be something that gets commented on, but it's not going to be something where, like, you need to know about it to, like, fully understand the plot. Or, like, I guess something that the game assumes you are going to do. I think it's gonna play into the meta-narrative, but in a way that doesn't, like, make the story not make any sense if you don't do it. I don't think the game is going to assume that you will be doing this. That's why I think it's going to be something that's probably going to be commented on if you do it, but not, like, heavily impact the actual story. Because I mean, we already know that you are not required to beat the game multiple times. Toby outright said that. Oh yeah, okay, we can save. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be similar to like that, plus like the Flowey conversations after you beat Neutral. I feel like it's gonna be something like that. Doesn't the game just auto-create a vessel anyways, even if you have a file where you created one? The game, I know the game, like, if you start from Chapter 2, that save file creates a vessel that is just, like, all the basic top options. Except for one question where the choice numbers were programmed weirdly. So it actually selects the second option. You know, classic Toby Fox stuff. No, 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 no. Speedrunning the game is canon, actually. That's what this implies. Now, this is just how it works in Chapter 2. Does it save a name? It does not save a vessel name, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, you know, you name the creator when you create a Chapter 2 save file, obviously. But as of right now, the game does not keep track of a vessel name when you create a Chapter 2 save. It does store your vessel name if you do make a vessel. It does store your vessel name, though. So it might just be something that isn't, like, defaulted right now because there's no need for it. I'm sorry. Meant trying to open the menu. I forgot. And it could be that, like, once, like, the full game is out, like, the game does, like, track if you have made a vessel. Probably through, like, Chapter 1 completion data, like it does for the, Shadow Crystals. Yeah, no, Toby said you can jump in from whatever chapter. It's on the FAQ. It's on the FAQ. And, you know, obviously demo saves are compatible. Because it would be stupid if they weren't. Especially after Toby has gone through such great lengths to make sure any save file can be, like, ported up. You can, like, play the game on old-ass 1.0 survey program 2018 and then load that save on the LTS build. Saving, like, loading save files is only a problem when, like, you're down patching. So... But yeah, I'm kind of really interested in seeing what they'll do with the vessel if you don't start from, if you, like, don't start from chapter 1. Like, is this gonna be like a thrash machine and just randomly generate it, or is it gonna, like, stick with the top default options? Yeah, no, you can load completion data in older versions, but not actual save files. Because the game isn't looking at, like, the actual save data. It's looking for, like, the completion file is, like, slightly different from a save file. I think it's only looking for, like, certain values in it for when it's starting chapter 2. Alright, well, I'm not gonna get it anyways. Good. Those damage rolls were not looking good. Let's see what this last damage roll would have been, though, you know? Yeah, I would have not gotten it, even if I did hit the crits. I'm really curious to see how the game will handle, like, starting from later chapters and, like, how that, like, affects choices that will happen. 2018 was 7 years ago? Yep. Like, we've already seen it with, Chapter 2 a bit, you know, with, like, randomly generated, Thrash Machine, you know, set starting equipment. I mean, the game gives you all the Chapter 1 recruits, but it does that regardless. You can play Chapter 1 completely violently and still have all the Chapter 1 recruits. The game just acknowledges it in a cutscene that had to be patched in, by the way. I think it was 1.07 added a slightly different cutscene if you, like, didn't get True Pacifist in Chapter 1. That was something that had to be patched in. Originally, it just played the same cutscene regardless of what you did, which, you know, was weird. I wonder what it'll do for, like, Chapter 2 recruits. I wonder if it'll, like, give you all of them, which I'm not sure. Or if it will, like, give you like the required ones. So stuff like task manager, mouse wheel, where like, you know, like the special ones. Like the special recruits. So like the ones that aren't normal enemies, which I guess would like the one-time encounters, which would be task manager, mouse wheel, and wire, I'm pretty sure. Like I could see it giving you those three by default. Either that or it'll give you no recruits. Chapter 1 giving you all recruits regardless, even when you start from a Chapter 2 save. That makes sense. Recruiting wasn't even a thing in Chapter 1. But given that, you know, currently there is actual, like, exclusive content and, like, rewards for recruiting everything, I feel like, you know... there's gotta be some incentive to playing the whole game with one save file. Other than, like, you know, it making the most sense story-wise. And I think, like, you know, missing out on certain exclusive equipments and, like, you know, probably also, you know, not getting every single recruit. You're like, hi, Shay. You came in on the run of all time. I'm comparing to my worst segments, which I think says exactly everything. Don't worry, Martley, you got this. You got this. Yay! Before I forget. That was almost disastrous. I would have had to go and do the funny... go back and treat it like I'm running fucking Chapter 2 AB. Like that one run. Yeah, I'm really interested in how this game will handle not having, like, not starting from completion data. Like, the various things it will do. Especially, and, like, I'm also interested from a gameplay perspective because, you know, that's what it's gonna be like when doing, single chapter speedruns. So... I'm kind of curious on if, like, the default starting equipment will ever be upgraded in future chapters. I missed the 2 crits I needed. Of course, I missed both. I only hit the crit that I don't need. No, Devil's Mouse, run is bad. Pack it up, everybody. I can see, like, the armor being upgraded. But I could see the game not upgrading your weapons. I could totally see the game not upgrading your weapons. Because, you know, that's not even something every player would use anyways. Everyone has glow wrist. Or, like, there's, like, a few glow wrists. Yeah, and I mean, also, you know, there was an explicitly stated connection in Chapter 1 that, you know, Queen exists. And, you know, I think the character named Queen would be similar to the character named King. Or, like, similar looking, I guess. Not, like, similar, like, personality-wise. Kinda. I mean, from, like, the one art we've seen. The antenna. That's what people are speculating currently, that the antenna are supposed to be his eyes. We won't know until, like, the game releases, I guess. Genius. Let's go! Let's go, Marlet! Back on top. Get it twisted. I know what you are. My brain is not braining. Anyway, I will say, I'm still kind of curious on, like, if, like, Mike is gonna, like, actually be, like, a character that shows up, or is just, like, some fucking dude Spamton is talking about. That was the menu of all time. Because the thing is, we do kind of have a bit of precedent with, like, the secret boss foreshadowing characters in the next chapter. Because, you know, Jevil mentions both the Knight and Queen. But the thing is, we kind of already broke the pattern just a bit. Like, well, the pattern isn't consistent just yet because, you know, Jevil referred to the... You know, Jevil referred to the main boss of Chapter 2, while... From what we currently know, the main boss of Chapter 3 isn't Mike. Yeah, but you know. You know what I mean. It's kind of like saying we don't have a set format yet because there's only 2 chapters. When I think, you know, Chapter 2 being formatted the way it is indicative of, like, how each chapter is most likely going to play out. But we have kind of now been, like we kind of have been sort of conditioned to, like, pay attention to any characters mentioned by the secret bosses. Maybe in the sweepstakes. Yeah, I remember Spamton using, like, he/him stuff for like the few times Tenna was talked about in the sweepstakes. I think. Yeah. It's been a while since I looked at all the sweepstakes stuff. And by that I mean, like, looked in depth. I still remember, like, 99% of what happened there. Yo, thank you for the follow. Check there, you did. Yeah, okay, yeah, Spamton. Yeah. Oh, I always gotta remember to pick up the dark candy. I'm just so excited that... Yeah, it's cool. It is funny how, like, everyone was kind of right the first time with the Chapter 3 boss design. Who knew that the obvious answer was actually the answer? That's crazy. It's crazy how the design hinted at by the end of Chapter 2 was actually the design. I still can't get over, like, that small subsection on Twitter of people who were saying that, like, the Tenna design had to be fake. People actually, looking at the Tenna design and saying it wasn't Toby Core enough. Denial is the first stage, agree. Wait, I'm yellow? Wait, I'm yellow? Oh no, Ross, I got hit. It's almost like that. It's not like that matters or anything. Still dies in one hit regardless. That sounds like a really bad apple. Say that again? Yeah, with this fight, you have enough leeway to have one turn where only one character snaps, which is really useful. It's different between this chat and then the one in Shay's chat. Okay, honestly, you want to know a real funny conundrum? Imagine going back in time and posting, like, the official screenshots we have of Chapter 3 and 4. See how many people believe them. Or, like, think they would be, or I guess, like, think they would be realistic for what would happen in the game. Because I feel like everybody would assume they were fake. If you'd, like, back then. In a sort of, like, you know... Shocking Tingers, the beard would do numbers. Nice 3-turn. The worst looking Deltarune image ever. Nah. And all, yeah. Actually, I wonder if people would say like that like those screenshots would be too safe. In a border, maybe. Yeah, no. I just think it's funny that people were saying that the Tenno design had to be fake or whatever. Or like you know, looking back in hindsight at people saying that like a TV head antagonist is too obvious. It's just funny looking back in hindsight. People thought it was fake because of like weirdly defined reasons. Like weirdly defined reasons relating to like Tenno being a liar and the sneaking section, like the whole sneaking section being canceled thing, which you know could be an in-universe joke, and also the fact that it looks too bad or whatever. And also people just like getting like way in over their heads and like coping about stuff. For one reason, is like this fucking sucks and we're scrapping it. Yeah. I feel like that's gonna be the bit. Man, I'm so fucking excited for Chapter 3. It's crazy, like, how little we know about Chapter 3, but also how much we know about Chapter 3. Oh my god. Me win up input. Who ate my up input? Ralsei, was it you? Did you eat my up input? No, it was me. Oh. God, the fact that friend inside me has a non-zero chance of being right about some stuff, so why? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's right about some stuff. Suspiciously up input shaped Ralsei. Too bad Brampton already took the Yellow Soul mold, yeah. Assuming every boss is gonna have a gimmick. Every secret boss, I mean. This fucking guy. Yeah, it's like, obviously I'm excited for Chapter 4, and like, you know, what we know about it is really cool and interesting, but it's like harder to like be really excited and like thinking about what's gonna happen with how little we know about it. Like, obviously I'm excited for it, but it's a bit harder to theorize about. We have, like, enough information about Chapter 3 to, like, really have a grasp of, like, what it might be like. But also, you know, we don't know too much as well, which I think is what excites me. Piece together it's something of plot progression. Oh, I still have my thing on enter. Yeah, that explains it. I forgot to take the thing off. A muffle. I mean, that's entirely on me, so... We're getting funky with this. No way, Shield 2 skip. Right? Is this... Okay, no, this is Shield 2. I thought it was doing straight to Shield 3. I wonder if this will do it. Yep. And ending on a rude fight. What is this? 5.5 red? Yeah, that was Shield 2. She was at 27. Yeah. Also, I could tell because it wasn't tall enough. So... But I still will also say, I think it's cool that we know so little about Chapter 4. I'm just... I mean, just think about how much we knew about Chapter 2 going into it. Nothing. Going into Chapter 2, all we had was, like, the 5 minutes shown in the stream, which was just the opening section before they even went back to the Dark World. Kind of hate him. I like that we know enough about Chapter 3 because it's enough to, like, keep that interest up. But also, we still don't know a ton about it. Like, we still don't fully know, like, what every, like, how it's gonna progress, what the story's gonna be like. We can make guesses based on, like, what we have, but we still, like, don't know a ton about it. All we have is, like, we only have, like, one enemy design. You know, we only have, like, you know, one enemy design. You know, we know what Tenna looks like. We know, like, a mini boss, and then we have, like, some screenshots.
Round 1.
Fight.
Like, also, I just remember for Chapter 2, we did have, like, the devlog stuff we knew about going in. So we had, like, the... We had, I think, Vero was the enemy they showed off, Vero-Kun. In the 2020 development update. Yeah, and we knew about the city. I know the sprite, like the screenshot with Vero in it also had like the doctor designs as well for the characters from that act. So I guess technically we also had Lost Girl, because Toby did post that on the first anniversary. Lost Girl was a thing. Did it have a name? Was it named when Toby posted it? I do remember Toby saying that, like, it was meant for, like, general, like, sad moments in that tweet. I do remember that. Yeah, we knew a bit about Chapter 2 going in. But, like, also we only had one chapter to work off in terms of, like, actual things happening. The Roaring. Man, I remember the days when, the Dark World being based off of the unused closet was just a theory. Alright, let me open a pack. Damn, didn't get anything. It's like at the end, it's never explicitly stated. It is never at any point in Chapter 1 explicitly stated that the Dark World is based off of, like, the unused closet and, like, every character represents an object. That's not stuff we learned until, like, Chapter 2. Now, it's stuff you can easily infer, but it's not, like... But it wasn't explicitly stated. Must have been weird. Like the Chapter 1 era fandom was just the Undertale fandom. From what I remember, there was like basically very little divide between Undertale and Deltarune fans. And you could tell that with all the theories just making the game Undertale too. Smile. So crazy how Kara's going to kill everyone in Hometown. It's one of those things where also like I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna act like people were unjustified for like acting that way back then, because like they're like you gotta like there wasn't a ton to Deltarune in that demo. Like, you know, it was just the first chapter. It hadn't done it, like, you know, there wasn't even really enough content to like truly like let it be its own thing from Undertale. Or like there was, but like, you know, it just wasn't large enough yet. Yeah. But yeah, it's not like I don't really want to like make too much fun of like those types of theories from back then. Like it's really funny looking back, and like some of them were kind of stupid, but I understand why some of them were there. And you know, this was just in that, and this was also still in that weird period in the fandom where it was like post like you know it was post its peak from 2016. You know, so a lot of like the hype died down a lot, and like what everyone left there was like pretty chill. But also, you know, this was before like that sort of like I want to say like pre 2020 2021ish, when like people started going back and reevaluating the characters, like the Undertale characters, and like, you know, stopped like basing everything off of like those old 2016 archetypes. So it was like that weird middle period. But yeah, it's kind of hard to explain why it's like this, but like for anyone who was there, like the Deltarune fandom wasn't really its own separate thing during the Chapter 1 era. Like, it's really hard to explain why. But, like, you can easily tell that, like, Chapter 2 was what really blew up this game and made its fandom its own unique thing. Like, obviously back then there were people who really only cared, who, like, really only interacted with Deltarune and didn't care too much about Undertale. Obviously there were people like that back then. Because, you know, free game, yada yada. But, you know, there was a lot less of it. Barely rather than so I found. I was in the fandom in 2016. I wasn't like actively interacting, but like I was keeping up with everything and all that for in 2016. I kind of fell out a bit afterwards, like around when I was starting high school, a little later that year. I kind of fell out for a bit, and then when Deltarune happened, that got me back in, but more as like a passive outside observer towards the fandom. You know, I wasn't actively interacting with people, but I was kind of like passively taking a look around. You know, I like occasionally browsed r/Undertale and r/Deltarune, and I would like to point out with r/Deltarune, this was before Chapter 2, so obviously there was still the Christmas gendering going on, but you know. That's just kind of that was just kind of the vibe with all of the non-binary they them characters from both games at the time. It was kind of a thing that not a lot of people actually like realized. Especially because with Chapter 1, the game isn't as in your face about Chris being separate from you compared to like Chapter 2. Like a lot of that stuff is like stuff that like you see in optional interactions with characters in the hometown at the end, and then like the ending of the chapter itself. But it's not as in your face about it like Chapter 2 is, with, you know, the entirety of Weird Route, and all that stuff. Signs are there, not as yeah. It was one of those things where like I could totally see why people saw Chris as as just like the generic self-insert main character during Chapter 1. And I feel like you're kind of supposed to think that at first. At first, yeah, at first being the key phrase. But yeah, because like I feel like a lot of chapter one's mo is just like kind of like throwing you for a loop if going in expecting Undertale stuff, you know? So it would make sense that you would like go in and think Chris is similar to Frisk in that they're a named character who you are just supposed to still project onto. And then the game would subvert that with the ending of chapter 1, then interactions around hometown, and then the stuff with chapter 2. It's why I don't blame like the chapter 1 fandom days of people not realizing that. That's why I don't blame them. Because also I was like that back then. Hell, you can probably find like various clips and messages of me, he, him, and Chris, and like right around the like when chapter 2 first came out, and probably also in my chapter 1 stream. Like you could probably find a decent amount of clips of that. I'm not gonna act like I always knew, you know. I for the longest time I thought Napstablook was he him. I gaslit myself into thinking that that the game used he him for them. I mean, I know it was such a like common mistake that it even showed up in like the first print of the art book. It was a very common mistake. But yeah, it didn't take long after chapter 2 release for me to start, just sticking with they them for Chris. Especially because it was like especially also because like it was shortly after chapter 2 where all like the uh discourse surrounding that started occurring, which made it obvious to me like, oh yeah, Chris is their own person. But yeah, I'm not gonna like act like I was above other people in the fandom at the time just because I wasn't active in it. I was absolutely like the guy who misgendered Frisk, Chris, and all of them. I was absolutely that guy. And but it wasn't malicious or anything. I just didn't know. And I think that's the difference. It's like one thing if like you just don't know what it's meant to be, and you are kind of just going off of vibes and using he him Chris just because like you literally do not know. And it's another thing if people try to correct you and you just stubbornly stick to it. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Hope everyone had fun. I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Bye.